Howdy, howdy, howdy. Alright, good. I'm back. So, I just had a really interesting trip across Oregon. I'm back again. This whole La Nina El Nino deal has been a trip. I don't ever want to do it again. It's been terrible. Anyway, I figured it's about damn time I start posting on this channel once a week again. It's been over a year since I did that. So, hold on, I get some out of my pocket here. Okay. All right. So, what to do? I started thinking, this will be coming up on my 6th year. Next month will be 6 years doing this. I only wanted to do it for 5 years, but it turned out that this job paid me so much that I can't go get a different job that's not trucking unless I go back to school. So I'm here for now, and it does pay well, and it's not bad. 85% of the time, this is an easy job. Some days are hell, like the last few days. I'll talk about that later. So I'll take my channel back to its roots, so to say, and gear this video toward new truckers or prospective truckers. A lot of people don't realize you can make $100 grand in trucking within a year, and it's pretty easy to do that. Yeah, you can make really good money doing this job. Now, there's a reason you're going to make that kind of money, but that was my shocker. That's my hook. If you want to be a trucker or you think about being a trucker, this is the video for you. That's my most YouTuber-y thing I'll ever say. Try to get this done before I can go get some food before it gets dark, because I want to shower too and go home. But yeah, trucking in 2024. Now, I started trucking in 2018, but I'd already been driving for the Army for a while, so it was a little easier for me to learn how to drive. But yeah, if you want to be a trucker, there's a few things that's like changed since I started, and I guess I would talk about that a little bit. Namely, one I already mentioned, the pay has gone up a lot. Used to, 5 years ago, the average a trucker would make was like $45,000 to $50,000 a year, and that was still a good income then. Now that's not that great of an income. Neither is $100,000 is not even that good of an income anymore, but it's way above average, and you can make that now. The first job you get is probably going to be about $50,000 to $60,000, but that's still good for a first job, especially if you're young, like in your 20s. But 3 months to 6 months experience, you can start looking at higher paying jobs, and you can really get into $100,000 a year very, very, very easily. Even with starter companies like Swift or CR England, you can, or US Express, supposedly, you can make $80,000 to $100,000 a year with a starter company. Not right at first, but after a few months, yeah, you can make that much money. Guarantee you can do it. And if you're looking at a starting company, or maybe you want to just go to a CDL school at like a community college, that's a good way to go, but it's going to be expensive. Or you can look at a starter company like CR England, or I think US Express does this. I'm not sure who all does it, but some companies will train you. You'll get your CDL through them, and you'll sign a contract to work for them for like a year or maybe 2. I wouldn't do it if it's going to say 2 years. A year, maybe not bad. But I don't like the contract thing, but it's the best way to go if you don't have money up front to spend on CDL to get the training. They'll train you, they'll put you on a truck, and you'll start working right away. And some of them will even pay you to go to the training, so that's good. I went through CR England, and the training was freezing cold in Indiana in the winter. I didn't like it, but I did it. And then I worked for them for like a month, and I said, I don't like this contract. You guys don't pay enough. I got out of the contract, and then I just paid the CDL school off as I worked for another company. Here's what I did. You don't have to do this, but I went to CR England and got my CDL. I did a 9-month contract with them. I ended up really hating working for them, not because of the company, because it was team driving. I'll explain that in a minute. But team driving, I didn't like. So I got out of it. I said, hey, I want to leave this company. I'm going to go to another one. I'll pay the CDL school. They said, okay, cool. So I went to Melton, truck lines, and they're a flatbed company. Over the road, they don't have local stuff, but they paid more. They paid me to $50,000 to $60,000 a year, as opposed to maybe 30. And they've had tuition reimbursement for my schooling. They will pay you extra to pay off your CDL school. That includes if you went to college to get the CDL. So, find a company that might have tuition reimbursement. Some companies will even pay for college in general, just whatever you want to do. U.S. Express famously has this. I don't know if it's an accredited university or not, but you can do that. But yeah, that's how I did it, and I paid that off and went through Melton, and I was in flatbed for a couple of years, and then I wanted it to be more local, or at least home every weekend, so I went to Crete, and Crete was getting me home every weekend, but no, it was the other way around. I did a flatbed company that got me home every weekend. But I just wanted to move out of the South because I couldn't find higher paying jobs at that time. This was in 2020. I wanted higher paying jobs, and there was none down there. I had to move up north to Pennsylvania to get those higher paying lanes. And by that time I was with Crete. So I moved up to Pennsylvania while I was with Crete, and they put me on a lane that paid me a lot more. I don't know why. That lane just paid more for some reason. And I doubled my income by moving out of the South. And I was in Pennsylvania for a while, working with Crete. And then I eventually found my way into bulk tanker work. So I had to get my tanker endorsement, but I deliver flour now. It's a pretty niche thing, but it pays really well and it's easy. That's why I did this. But yeah, it's easy to move around in trucking too. You can get that job and then you want another job. A lot of truckers are going to disagree with me, but when you get into trucking, don't be scared to shop around for different companies and different jobs. You have a CDL. It's one of the most powerful things that you can have as an American. I'm not kidding. A CDL will get you a job in 2 days. I'll have a story about that. So I was with Food Liner, which was the bulk tanker flour company. I was working for them in Pennsylvania, and I decided I wanted to move to Utah. Now, they have a terminal in Ogden, Utah, and I said, hey, can I transfer to Utah? They said, yeah. No big deal. And I called Utah. They said they were going to make a lane for me, and they were going to have it all set up by the time I got moved out here, which is going to be like 3 days. I said, okay, cool. So on the drive out here, I get a hold of a Utah Food Liner again. And this isn't a slide on them, but they said corporate was giving them a lot of flack about setting up a lane for me coming in from Pennsylvania, and I wanted to be local. Now, if I was going to do over the road, it would have been easy. I'd stay with the company, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be local. They couldn't get it set up. So that job fell through. Within 2 days before I got to Utah, I had a new job because CDL is powerful. I had a job. It was a temporary. I was with Pride Transportation, and I worked for them until I found where I'm at right now, which is Food Express. And it's the same thing I did at Food Liner. And I've been there ever since. So it's easy to find a job if you have a CDL. And don't be scared to shop around jobs. Don't be scared to shop around companies, because you have a lot of older truckers that are going to tell you that's the worst thing in the world. Now, some companies won't hire you if you've had, say in the past 3 years, you've had like 10 different jobs with 10 different companies. Some trucking companies aren't going to hire you because they will view you as a job hopper. But if you've been with a company for like a year and you're like not, and you're not feeling it, and you're just saying, I'm not making enough money for what I'm doing, look around. You'll find something that fits you. I guarantee it. Go to that company. Check it out. I got to a niche or a division in trucking that I really like by shopping around. It's not job hopping if you're upgrading yourself. Job hopping is different. But also, this day and age, the way your world works, the best way to give yourself a raise is go to another company. I tripled my income almost by doing this. And within a few years, I was in a really, really good position. And that's the same for a lot of companies, especially tech companies. But yeah, I mean, don't like go job to job to job and have 5 jobs in 1 year. That's probably not a great idea. But, take your time. Make sure that if trucking is not fitting you in general, at least you can find somewhere that'll hold you over until you find something you like. Or you can find a different kind of trucking. There's flatbed. There's dry van, reefer. There's heavy haul. There's hazmat or tanker, hauling fuel, hauling flour, cars. You can do anything in trucking. There's a lot of different ones, and you're probably going to like one of them. So shop around, and you'll make good money doing it. But yeah, that's getting started in trucking. But make sure when you're in trucking school to pay attention. When you're backing, learn to freaking back. Do not shortcut that. Learn to back. You go to a truck stop, any truck stop in the country at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to see a bunch of dummies that didn't pay attention when they were in CDL school. They don't know how to back, and they're holding everybody else up, and they're stressing themselves out. It's a nightmare. Learn to back. Pay attention. Learn to back and practice it. Learn to back. Nobody's going to care if you look like a freaking idiot in CDL school by messing up backing. They're going to care when you get out on the road and you look like a freaking idiot that didn't pay attention in CDL school. So learn to back. Monster. So, I'll leave the rest of that beginner stuff up. You know, if you've got a question or whatever, ask me. So, pays good. What are some issues with trucking in 2024? Well, first off, don't lease a truck. I don't care what kind of beautiful stories that this sweet recruiter will spin you in your ear on the phone about how leasing a truck is magical and you'll make $3,000 a week. You won't. You will not. You'll make just enough money to pay for that truck and nothing else. You're going to be hungry. You're not going to have money to get home sometimes. Leasing a truck can be a nightmare. It might work out 5% of the time, but there are multitudes of horror stories from leasing trucks. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. I don't care what anybody says. It's stupid. It's a dumb idea because they're gonna cheat you. Don't lease a truck. Even if it's a good, reputable company that does lease programs, do not do it. Be a company driver. I'm telling you, be a company driver. I know people that lease trucks and they made $2,500 a week. Well, actually, probably about $3,000 a week. But as a company driver, I would end up walking away with more money each week than they would because they were paying for all of their stuff and their truck. You'll make better money as a company driver, and it's less stressful. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't pay for your fuel. You don't pay for maintenance. You don't pay for tires. You don't pay for anything except your food. And if you need to buy like clothes, some companies will even reimburse you on your shoes and your gloves and stuff like that. Some companies will reimburse you on buying freaking microwaves. Which brings me to another point. Choose company driving positions. I'll get to it later if you want to buy your own truck. That's a whole different can of worms. I don't suggest it, but if you want to do it, there's a way to be successful. When you're getting into trucking and you find a company where you're a solo over-the-road driver or you have your own truck, if you can help, unless they're going to pay you a lot of money, don't go to a company that wants you to buy everything for your truck. And what I mean by that is a refrigerator and an inverter and a bunk heater or an APU unit. APU is kind of annoying sometimes, but you want an APU or a heater. APU is basically a generator that runs the heat in your truck, so you don't have to run the truck. It's annoying. You can look it up if you want. But an inverter, if you don't know what that is, that's basically energy converter that converts the power of the truck to power that you can use like your home. Like you can plug your microwave in, you can plug TV, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever, entertainment. You can use plugs in your truck like you would in like an RV or at home. It's very useful. And also a refrigerator. You're gonna need a refrigerator and an inverter. I'm telling you, you need that stuff. So you can also have a microwave and also at least 1,000 watt minimum inverter. A good reputable company is going to give you that stuff included. They're going to give you the heater or the APU. They're going to give you the inverter. They're going to have that stuff installed with the refrigerator. You're going to buy your own microwave and TV and all the other stuff. But a good company is going to give you that stuff already installed in that truck because you're going to be on the road. That stuff saves you money. It saves you time. And if you're ever out somewhere like I just was in the middle of Oregon, bumfuck Egypt, and get stuck in the weather and there's no food nearby, you got food in your truck, in your cooler or your refrigerator, and you can microwave it or you can cook in your truck. You need that stuff. Don't listen to these old timers and say, oh, you don't need that. Back in the day in the 80s and stuff, we went and did all this. Shut up. Nobody cares about back in the day. We are in 2024 now. Microwave, refrigerator, inverter in your truck. Trust me. TV if you want. If you're not a TV guy or a gaming guy, You don't need that shit. But I'm telling you, you need the microwave and the refrigerator and the inverter. I'm telling you, you need it. Do it. Make sure the company is going to give you that, or maybe they'll reimburse you, or maybe you can get it if they pay you well. But yeah, get that stuff. You need it. Trust me. But yeah, other than that, that's the stuff, the starting out stuff. You know, you're going to learn to drive better, and like you'll learn truck stop etiquette for the most part. They should be teaching that in CDL school. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But yeah, what's a good company to start out with? I don't know. You should do your research. Swift seems like it can be okay. And the thing I say Swift because it's such a big company that once you get in there and you don't like being all over the road, cross country and whatnot, they're so big that they have different jobs that you can do as a driver for them. And the same thing is the case with Crete or CR England, US Express. They all have different jobs, and I can talk about that in a different video. It's going to make this one too long. But if you want to be like off on the weekends, they're probably going to have a job that does that. If you want to work closer to home, they're probably going to have that. You know, or you want to work a certain region, they're probably going to have that. You know, it's good stuff. The bigger companies have those opportunities. But yeah, I mean, do your research on the starting company. You can find that on YouTube. You'll find everything on YouTube. You'll find gripers and people that hate it. You'll find people that love it. You know, just research. You know, decide what's best for you. But yeah, all that other stuff kind of comes naturally. You'll figure it out. But yeah, last thing, talk about leasing. I won't talk about buying a truck right now. That's probably a whole video. And I don't want to make this 30 minutes long. But yeah, I want to post every week. So this is my starting thing. You know, starting out in trucking. What you should be looking for, maybe, I guess is what this video is about. If you're looking to get into trucking in 2024, you're going to make good money. You will get good money, but choose the company wisely and choose the type of trucking that you're doing wisely. Get your endorsements. Trust me, get your endorsements. When you get your CDL, after you get it and you get a chance to be home and study a little bit, get hazmat, get your tanker endorsement, doubles and triples. You probably won't use doubles and triples unless you do something like LTL, like UPS, FedEx, or all these other little LTL companies. Well, maybe not little, but different. That's more of a different kind of thing, different kind of trucking. But, you know, tanker and hazmat, you're probably going to want that. Trust me, you'll want those. But yeah, I'll make more videos. I'll try to post every week like I should have been doing all this time. But yeah, if you're a new trucker, I mean, ask me questions. I'm in the middle. I'm not one of those old-timey truckers that's been doing this for like 30 years and hate all the new stuff like GPS and phones and all that crap. I don't use my CB. I have one in here, but I hate using CB radio. I think it's stupid. At least now it is. It used to be helpful. Now it's just horror. It's horror. But I'm not like the older guys. You know, I'm more new school. I'm like a techie guy, and I use all the tools available that I can get, you know. And I'm also not brand new. I've got plenty of experience, you know. I'm coupled with the Army, I have freaking 18 years experience as a trucker when you factor in the Army. So I know what I'm talking about. I know how to drive really well. If you've got questions, ask it. If you want me to make certain videos, ask me. It's gonna be hard to make backing videos, and there's probably better videos than that I can do. Pre-trip, CR England, CR England has an amazing pre-trip video if you need to study. Pride Transport has a really good chaining video for snow chains. So yeah, tips there if you're trying to learn. We'll do some research. I don't know. Ask me for stuff. If you got a question, ask a question. It'll give me video ideas. I need video ideas because I want to get this channel rolling again. I'm gonna go eat some Mexican food on the border of Idaho and Oregon that is probably made by old white people. It's probably not gonna be that good, but we're gonna see. Y'all have a good one.